very much on the Fnatic hype train.
Well, thank you very much, Trevor. Yeah, 3-0 for Fnatic, 3-0 for Fnatic, 3-0 for Fnatic. Definitely not Origen dismantling them in that first game.
I've never been so happy to be wrong.
Yeah.
Because that was awesome to watch from Origen's point of view. They made a lot of changes coming into this game when it came to how they played the game, their picks and bans. That was growth from Origen rather than Fnatic just giving a game away. I'm actually so super happy because we could have potentially a 5-game final on our hands.
I feel when it comes to the pick and ban, I feel like Fnatic kind of set themselves up to be very, very weak against the poke composition. Victor is a champion that has like okay matchups against everything, but the virus does fine against it. And there was a lack of engage, and you had to do something very, very beautiful to create anything that Yellowstar did in the middle of the game. But I think the pick and ban was the biggest like fault that Fnatic did in this game.
Well, I don't know. The pick and ban, I think, could go both ways. I can really see both sides doing well, but once Origen got the lead, and the one time they make a mistake mid lane, they never made it again. They never really let Yellowstar get that flank like the Fisher was saying. They always warded up, and they basically, yeah, never let Fnatic come back because of the way they played. So I think pick and ban was pretty big. Gangplank is annoying as hell.
Yeah.
But I still think we got a really good series coming up still.
Yeah, for sure. I think like Gangplank is going to define this series. For sure. I don't think there's any like hard counter to it. It's kind of hard to stop it from farming because it's always going to farm. Really good in 1v2 as well. And that in mind, I think Gangplank is going to define this entire series. Maybe it's going to be banned every single game.
You say it's easy to get farmed, but again, it's a big change from Origen. I spoke about it before the first game, where normally they don't give Soaz that farm. They don't give him that experience. This time, they give Soaz everything, and he takes everything away from Fnatic. So good adaptations in the lane swap.
Yeah, looking at that though, at the lane swap, usually, even when that happens, even when you guys have gotten a big lead against him, OG in the past has gotten a big lead against him. Fnatic fights their way back. So what did they not do well that they usually do in Fnatic?
Well, I think something that they really didn't expect, I guess, is when they pick a support top against a carry top. What they did in the 2v1 was give all this farm onto Tristana. They kept funneling and siphoning all the XP from the top laner to the AD carry. And this works fine, but when you're playing against a carry top on the other side, that carry top eventually will just be able to 1v1 the other top. So now the top, from the initial siphoning of resources, now we can never come back in the game. He was like 30 CS down, 40, 50, 60. So if it was like carry top versus carry top, maybe I can see it. But as soon as they put this like strong like Gangplank pick in there, you can't really just give him farm over the other top laner because he'll never come back from that.
Like for sure, like my biggest issue was like imagine if they picked, for example, Fizz top lane instead of the Lulu. That is something that can contest the wave against GP very, very well and can actually scale into that matchup very well. And I feel like they had weaker matchup all over the place. They had the weaker composition. That's why I put most of the blame on the pick and banning.
Oh, I can see that. I mean, yeah, if you think about it, if you see a Lulu kind of underfarmed, you're just going to push the entire map. Like, you don't really care. If you see a Fizz, maybe he's underfarmed, but you still have to consider his damage. Lulu, you can almost ride off the second she falls behind.
That might be an adaptation coming out of Fnatic. With that Lulu underfarmed, GP very much farmed, Tristana ramping up. For me, the moment Xpeke got caught in the mid lane, I actually thought this is one of those moments that Fnatic can absolutely capitalize on and maybe would. But let's pull up the replay, because right after that, OG said no when Fnatic aggressed on them again. I think Fnatic maybe went a little too fast here, we can get some kills out of here and turn it back in our favor, but so good coming out of OG to fight back in that one.
It's like I've been giving Xpeke a lot of flack, but look at his position. He's firing so many Qs all over the place. Everyone's just dropping on Fnatic.
And the key thing is he's hitting so many Qs. And not only is he hitting one person, every skill shot that Origen seemed to throw out in this first game hit multiple people every time they were about to go to an objective. Just the poke coming out from Origen was way better than I've seen them play all split long.
Xpeke in playoffs.
Xpeke in playoffs.
Xpeke in playoffs, and Soaz as well, as you said, on that Gangplank. But we know, as Officio said, he plays best when he can be really, really annoying. It definitely showed in this one. Though, Fnatic, their very first loss in a long time. We actually have a tweet from someone at home who wanted to ask the desk from @LyricWikiChris. Do you think Fnatic would profit more from a loss than from a win regarding their mindset for Worlds? This is so incredibly interesting because we haven't seen this yet in the summer split. How do you think it will affect them?
I don't know, man. I love losses. Obviously, you guys know that from my professional career. But for a loss for Fnatic, like they've shown they're like mentally resilient. So I think this is actually really, really strong for them as a team. They're going to know exactly like, was it like the strategy that was the problem? Was it communication? Like what actually happened that game? It's no longer like, oh, we won, but we could do this better. It's going to be like, okay, this is just wrong. We can never do it again. So I think it's really big stepping stone for them.
I feel like Fnatic, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, that they have found this way to improve regardless of if they lose or win. I think this game was more about hiding their cards more than anything else.
I think one other thing to keep in mind, although Fnatic themselves have said the streak didn't really matter to them, it's a little bit of pressure release now. Because you've not got that, oh man, if we lose, that's our streak gone. It's gone. No more chance to stay undefeated, so maybe we'll see them relax a touch. I still think, though, the pressure is on with that spot at Worlds.
Yeah, the pressure is on also for Reckless, who's playing here on his home turf. He probably will feel like he didn't put his stamp on that first game, so he'll be looking to fight back. We need to step away as the teams regroup for Game 2 of the Summer Finals. And as we go, Reckless tells us how there's no room for error in this decisive series against Origen.
We have been the team to beat during the whole split, and therefore I wouldn't expect anything else than them taking a lot of notes during the LCS games and even the practices we had in our semi-final now. It's not going to be as easy or as solid as we've had it before. I think a lot of the weaknesses we have showcased that hadn't been enough punished is going to be punished against Origen.